final, so I think they made up for it a bit.
They made up for it a bit. It's small compensation, however, 7th place when you think you ought to be on the medal rostrum and in the first 3 places. In lane 1, Greece, Nikos Pagounis and Yannis Christou. And switch across in lane 2, Luca Agamemnoni and Dario Lari. Dario Lari in a fast pair with Giuseppe Davita, and they've switched, and Agamemnoni's come in with him, and they've raced well this season. And Ramon Di Clementi and Donovan Ketch from South Africa. Now they are hardy perennials in the men's pair, winners at Henley and medals year after year, bronzes and silvers, but never quite the gold medal. And another New Zealand pair, Nathan Twaddle and George Bridgewater, sorry, another New Zealand crew, Nathan Twaddle and George Bridgewater in the lane 4. The Skelin brothers, the benchmark crew for Croatia in lane 5. And Malcolm Howard and Chris Jarvis for Canada in lane 6. I referred to the Skillins of Croatia. They are the benchmark crew. They and the South Africans have been in this event for the whole of the last Olympic cycle and most of the one before. And if you can't beat them, you're not going to win a gold medal. If you can beat them, you almost certainly will win a gold medal, because they're always silver and bronze medalists. So umpire calling them over, dispelling the nerves, checking the equipment. Breathe deep. Clean start all round. And although New Zealand seem to move slower than the other, move their back slower than the other crews, they've drawn out straight away. They moved the hull fastest by that first draw. This could be something to do with the fact George Bridgewater at 6'8" is immensely strong, and he has an older, wiser man in the bow seat, but smaller, who seems to keep him straight by just popping the blade in, I think a quarter of a blade early, and lets George get on with the work. And already the chevron has begun to appear, because semi-final places are used as a guide for selection for the final. We have the fastest 2 from the semis in 3 and 4, the next 2 fastest in 2 and 5, and the 3rd place qualifiers in 1 and 6. But at the moment we have the Greeks on the far side, Pagounis and Christou, showing well, and in fact leading this race, with the New Zealanders, that's them in picture now, Nikos Pagounis and Yannis Christou, and they've gone out into an early lead. Now you have, in a headwind and in these humid conditions, even though the breeze is cooling you down, Lenka, I believe you're a doctor.
Yes, I am.
So you know a little bit about hydration and dehydration, both as an athlete and from a technical point of view.
Yeah.
What advice would you be giving these crews to cope with the humidity here? Is it quite exceptional?
It is quite exceptional. Like, even when you're not performing or not moving, you're already sweating, and it's really important that the crews rehydrate, like during the warm-up already. Like, I believe they rehydrated right before the start, and it's crucial because you lose so much salt and water with these conditions here.
So you're taking an isotonic drink of some sort, a salty drink, rather than just plain water?
Yeah, like not isotonic, maybe hypertonic, but it definitely has to have a certain amount of salts in there. And
even though you may think that would weigh heavily on the stomach if you're racing, you just need to be sipping all the time to keep the moisture level up.
It doesn't have to be a big amount of water, like not a liter or something, but definitely 200 mils would be good before the start.
And for open weight athletes it's not so difficult, but for lightweight athletes, many of them are shedding water and losing weight so that they can weigh in at the correct level just before the event. And they're only allowed 2 hours between weigh-in and the race, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a big problem, and like we hope that their team doctors are monitoring them very well and make sure that they get their sufficient fluid intake. But look at that, the New Zealanders are really, really smooth here. It looks like they're heading for a next gold medal.
And I think they're looking for a gold medal, and there's the South Africans who think, oh no, here we go again. We've survived crew after crew. They've survived Cracknell and Pinsent. They've survived Redgrave and Pinsent, these South Africans. and every time they think they're going to end up at the head of the pack, another crew appears from somewhere else. And that crew this time is George Bridgewater in the stroke seat and Nathan Twaddle in the bow seat for New Zealand. And as they go through or come up to 1,000 metres, we have New Zealand at first at 1,000 metres in 3:26, and South Africans 0.3 of a second behind. That's not very much. Italy in touch, Agamemnoni and Lari 0.7 of a second behind, and Greece still very close up there. They shot out in the lead, and we started talking about hydration because we wondered if it was too much too soon, but they're still there, 0.9 of a second down. The rest of the field is very close indeed. South Africans in I managed to read the order wrong. It's New Zealand first, Greece second, as their start indicated. Italy third, Croatia, the Skelin brothers in fourth place, out of a medal at the moment. South Africa in fifth, and Canada in sixth. But New Zealand lead the field. We're on looking at Ramon Di Clemente, Donovan Ketch in picture, and Ramon Di Clemente in the bow seat. That's a very, very experienced pair. Year after year they're on the circuit. They hardly spend any time in South Africa, and when they do, they're at high altitude. Then they come up on the European circuit and race for all they're worth. They level pegging stroke for stroke with the Skelin brothers. At the moment they have Sinisa in the bow seat and Nixa in the stroke seat for Croatia, and those two pairs flanking as a sort of honour guard the New Zealand pair out in front and dominating this race.
Now the New Zealanders are pushing out. They're trying to get clear water between them and the South
39 and a half New Zealand when you said they were pushing out. As they come to 1,500 metres, I think it was probably a pre-programmed strategic push. I don't think they needed to do it, but they do see the South Africans on their right hand side, and they are closing now. South Africa, they are closing on New Zealand and have an overlap of probably 3 or 4 feet, and New Zealand do have to do something to make sure those South Africans stay back there. .39.5 still from New Zealand, and here we have the Italians. .34.5 from Italy, still at a more conventional rate, and you can see Italy beyond the South Africans out on the far side. But as we come into the last 250 metres, almost into view in front of the grandstand, it's still New Zealand absolutely dominating this event, with South Africa chasing and Italy in third place. Croatia fourth, out of the medals for the first time for many years. Canada fifth, and Greece now dropped back in spite of their early flourish into sixth place. But New Zealand, what have they done about it? They've opened up half a length of open water. That is a fantastic response, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. And they move the boat really smoothly. Like if you look at the stern, it doesn't dip under the water even. They're rating that high, so it's a
40 strokes a minute. New Zealand taking distance off the South Africans. New Zealand champions, third gold medal in a row for New Zealand. South Africa silver medal. Italy stopped but still managed to scramble across the line for a bronze medal. And following up on the far side, we have Greece and Croatia in last place, with Canada, I didn't read Canada earlier on, coming through in fifth. But outstanding New Zealand. So we will hear the national anthem from New Zealand again 3 times in a row. Men's single scull, women's pair, and now men's pair. What is it that New Zealand cannot do in small boats, one begins to wonder. Richard Tonks, the chief coach, has everything to be proud of. Now there they are, they're in the front from the very beginning, and although Greece did pull up and put on a good show for a bit, here we have in the foreground the Skelin brothers in picture with New Zealand behind them, and the Skelins pushed right out of it. They were in fourth, and then they blew up in the last 250 metres and finished in sixth place, allowing Canada and Greece to come through and take fourth and fifth.
It's amazing that they can keep up like such a high rate in a small boat. I think they definitely should go for the 8.